So I just saw your video from the fireworks show yesterday. The footage looks insane. What's going through your mind as you're seeing the show right at the beginning, and the fire just immediately afterward?
I'm from Abilene, so I've been to all these fireworks shows every year. I was born and raised here. So, we went to this fireworks show not expecting anything crazy to happen or just record and share live feed for people that maybe couldn't go out to that show and be there. So, I'm doing my video recording, watching at the same time, and I look to my left and I see a glow, and I'm like thinking, oh, there's a fire. So, of course, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I start recording the first one, and they kind of take care of it. They get that one out. And I'm thinking the show is over. I mean, there's a fire, we have a drought, there's fireworks going off, setting fires everywhere. So at that point, I'm like, it's probably over. And then they start popping off again, and then a big fire happened, and that was the second one. The second one was the huge one. A lot of people started seeing, and people started leaving after that point. So it's pretty crazy to get that on film. I wasn't expecting a fire to break out, but it was a pretty big one to watch for the night. So
And is it accurate that some of the fireworks were set off by the fire itself?
that I don't know. By the end of the night, everybody was, saying their piece of things about different, city people coming out to help and SWAT team being called because of remaining fireworks. They were trying to make sure they didn't get blown up at the end of the night. I did see a lot of people say that there was, I guess, the grand finale or a lot of fireworks still out there. I'm not sure if anybody was injured. I do know that somebody said that for sure. They believe the SWAT team was called to make sure that those fireworks at the end didn't blow up and I guess injure people around the area. So
And I also saw you post that a lot of drones were lost uh, during the ensuing fire. What happened with those?
so it's pretty crazy. I've never seen a drone show in my life, and they start rising in the air, and they're all colorful and all that stuff. They're trying to start, and I think this is the funniest part of the night. It's not too comical, but they start going up, and a lot of them just kept going up and up and up until you couldn't see them anymore. And at one point, the commentator for the fireworks show came on the radio station, was like, "Hey, you guys be careful, be vigilant." I'm thinking in my head, I'm trying to tell my people. I told Janice, I was like, hey, we need to get the kids and get in the car, get in the truck, and take cover because what goes up probably comes down. And so as the drone shows ended and they were trying to get them back to the ground, you see drones falling everywhere. Some are falling at a fast rate with a red blinking light. Others you can tell like they just weren't coordinated with everything. So as far as I know, I was right there next to the stadium. I didn't see or hear any of them hitting people or cars or anything, but it's crazy to go to a fireworks show and then you got drones falling out of the sky and you got to pretty much watch out and take cover if it starts falling out. So
And what are you hearing from people about just the new location for the show itself? Obviously, it's not a great way to start.
yeah, like I said, I'm from Abilene. I know a lot of people. I see a lot of people on Facebook and social media, throwing comments out about this or that. And I wish, Abilene could have something that's fun every year, something that's continuous, that's consistent. I do understand that the reason why they moved from the zoo, I believe, was because the rec center's adding football fields, softball fields, and stuff like that to, add more things to Abilene. But at the same time, it'd be really nice to not, think next year is going to be a fire. They're going to be drones falling out of the sky. Do we need to go to Dallas, Fort Worth? To do something that's going to be consistent. So hopefully we can get on the same page with Abilene and the community and make sure everything works out every year after we want to go out and see things. So
And this might be a weird question, but could you smell the smoke from that distance? What's going on with all five senses?
oh yeah, for sure. You got people leaving. There's cops showing up. You got your fire trucks and things coming out at some point. It actually took me and my family. We went to a fireworks stand that was clear across, some of the back roads way behind Wiley out toward the highway, and we're in there buying fireworks. This is like probably 30 minutes after a lot of this happened, and I hear fireworks going off again, and I'm thinking that's pretty close. Like, there's no way that's them still doing the show and after the big fire, I guess after they got it put out a little bit, we actually got in the car and drove back, and they were still shooting fireworks. They tried 3 or 4 times to keep the show going, and we pulled up, and that's when I guess there was a building on fire. At that point, there was heavy smoke behind there. You can smell the smoke driving back and everything. So, and some people were still worried about the drones. We don't know how many drones were still floating up there. Pop, might fall down and hit somebody or something like that. So but the conversations are pretty cool to look at and hear and everything. And everybody's talking about it today and last night. So
I wanted to ask about that as well because obviously it's not ideal for everybody who was out there and wanted to see a fireworks show, obviously not go up in flames, but are you
Mhm.
hearing some more, lighthearted conversations? Because at the end of the day, when you look at something and you see something like this, it's nothing if not a story. And
Yeah.
everybody kind of being in the same place at the same time, seeing this happen, uh, you know, continuing to assume that there are no injuries, it's still something that you more or less can take home with you and say, hey, remember back 5 years ago when we had the big fire?
Mhm. Um, I don't know. I'm pretty sure this will be something to talk about. I made a social media post just talking about we'll never forget 2024. Fourth of July is pretty memorable for all the families that were out there. Anybody else who was watching through live feeds and all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, the next few years we're all going to be anticipating what the show may be, where it's going to be at, what it may entail. So it's kind of crazy. No one was expecting that last night. There are negative and positives that come with this kind of stuff. I hope a lot more positive comes out. Like I said, a lot of people do have their comments about things, their conspiracy theories about why it was this way or that way. And, we'll never know really what happened. I don't know the core details of everything. I was just a guy out there recording at the right time, at the right place. So, hopefully we have better things to look forward to coming up in the next few years.
I think my last question for you is what does the rest of the holiday look like for you?
Oh man, I'm gonna go fishing. Take my daughter and family out fishing. May try and catch some other fireworks shows, and I think there's some around the area. Possum Kingdom, Breckenridge. May take a trip out to Dallas tonight. Not sure, but trying to get that fireworks show in for sure at some point.
Well, that's all I have for you, unless you have anything else you'd like to say or talk about.
No, that's pretty much it. I hope Abilene moving forward can find a good consistent place for us to enjoy fireworks.
Awesome. Once again, that's all I have. So thank you for your time.
All right, appreciate you.